Welcome to EngineCraft Garage. Today we have a Stihl MS211C, and I believe the crank seals are bad in this. Put a brand new carburetor on it, and no matter how much you adjust the carburetor, it still has an extremely high idle. I've tried messing with it a bunch of times, and then I did the simple test where you can kind of tell if you have bad crank seals or not. While the saw is running, you can tilt it from side to side, and if the RPMs change, it's most likely you have a bad crank seal. We're going to start tearing this apart and see how bad it is to replace these crank seals. Get this inner cover off here. A couple of nuts. With almost every Stihl product, you can take almost the whole thing apart with a T27. That's what they use for almost all of their fasteners. T27 Torx. Take this off. We'll get the carburetor off as well. We basically just have to break this all down until we get to the engine. Maybe I can get the side cover off as well. The bar and chain off. Come on. That's a little grimy. I want to come in here every once in a while and clean all of this out, because sometimes the dirt can get impacted into some of this stuff and then prevent your bar from oiling. Screwdriver in here, and get the C-clip off, cover it so it doesn't shoot across the shop. Clutch cover. I'm going to try to keep things so organized as possible here. Our bearing. Don't know if this is left or right-handed thread, but we're going to try. All right, so it's opposite threads. This is what oils. This spins around. It's driven by the crank, and it oils runs your oiler. It's really important when you reassemble this that your clutch cover gets aligned to that so it spins. Need to get a little bit further. Get our dogs off. Let's get our carburetor off. Slide the carburetor out. A little bit of fuel leaking. There we go. Side cover off. Get our coil out. Goes in behind the coil. Can't forget that. Another good thing about recording videos is I can always look back on this too if I need to when I take this stuff apart. And I recommend doing the same if you can. You know, we're still hung up right here. All right, got that off. Did not want this fuel line to actually come out. If you ever take your exhaust off, always check your spark arrestor screen. If that ever gets clogged, it will run like crap. Can we get this engine out? Of course. Whatever brand this is, granular. Just snap the tip right off. Garbage. I do. Hopefully this one doesn't break on me. No one's out. There we go. All right, engine bolts are out. be a reverse thread too. Oh, it's regularly threaded. All right, so we're gonna have to get something behind here, and we're gonna have to tap on this flywheel. Oh, came right off. Case is already split with those bolts. That's interesting. It's out. And then here's our crank seals that we need to replace. So I got these from Sawzilla. Part number is 9638-003-1581. Let's get the second. The second one came off really easily. The thing I'm noticing about this one is the spring is gone in there. If you look at one of the new ones, you can see that spring around the center, and that's what keeps tension. On the one that was in there, that spring is gone. So that kind of makes me question, where is it? This is all high temp silicone or high temp RTV. I'm gonna take a razor blade and kind of scrape all this old RTV, at least get a nice flat surface on here. All right, so what I got here is some Permatex Ultra Red. This is high temp RTV. I got these all cleaned up, so we're gonna put a bead around this, and I also want to put a bead inside here where the crank seals are going to go. All right, we got that on there. Let's get the new crank seals on. The next thing I want to do is put it in the grooves where the crank seals are going to go. Make sure these crank seals are lined up in the channels perfectly. Slide that guy down. Just judging by the way that we have to do this, we'll have to come in here, put the crank end through first. Drop this down. All right, now we can insert our bolts again. All right, we can see that high temp silicone squished out around there. That's good on both sides there. All right, with that, we can start getting things assembled. All right, we are 100% all back together. We got to let that RTV set, so that's going to take some time. So I'll bring you back in after that's cured, and we'll see how this runs. All right, let's see if this thing starts and runs. A few primes here. Off. Not bad, it idles back down. Check the RPMs on it. RPMs are a little low, so we're gonna have to adjust that. Turn it off, we'll restart back up. Let's see. Think it's good. If you like repairs, rescues, and revivals, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to help support this channel, the biggest thing you can do is leave a thumbs up down there at the bottom. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. And if you like more content like this, I got more right here. See you later.